Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be doing a video response to an update that Koozai Marketing did on their website recently. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Yeah, good morning, Chad. Welcome to the Brown Bag. This blog post today that we're highlighting was written by Mike Essex over at Koozai, and we think this is kind of an interesting topic. Just like we've done in our previous series, sometimes we come across interesting things. We want to share it with our community. We want to debate some of the topics and maybe offer a contrarian point of view and get a discussion going. So what they did, and this is kind of interesting, Chad, is they decided to delete a bunch of content off their blog, approximately 900 blog posts. This is what they're reporting over on the Koozai website. And what Mike talks about is their rationale on why they did that and then what the outcomes were. So I want to talk a little bit about their process because I think this is interesting, and then pros and cons, and of course evaluate the outcome, Chad. So what I thought was cool is they first indexed everything they had, and they've been producing content like a lot of people do who are in the content marketing space, fast and furious for many, many years, and they point out, and we agree with this, that the tactics for content creation have certainly changed. A number of years ago, you could probably have thinner content, and that ranked pretty well, but that doesn't work as well anymore. The recommendations on how long content should be have come and gone and changed, and I know Maz has weighed in on this. We've covered that before, what Rand has said is the optimal length, and for a long time he said, you don't really have to go past 400 words. There's diminishing returns. I think other people think, no, long form is now better because it's a signal of quality. But back to what they did over at Koozai was they deleted 900 blog posts because they felt, well, some of this stuff just isn't as valuable or isn't as effective as it used to be, and they were trying to be proactive, Chad. It wasn't because they had a penalty or any problems. What they were trying to do is just do some housekeeping and really set up their site for future updates. I thought their analysis was interesting. They looked at blog posts that were too short, that were maybe 100 or 200 words, were under some threshold. They looked at blog posts that had no inbound links to them, so had not attracted any backlinks, and they looked heavily at traffic and tried to isolate where the traffic was coming in on which blog posts. And from there, they sort of went through and started weeding out things that they felt like didn't matter. So I think first off, Chad, what do you think of that methodology and what they were trying to do here?
Well, I think it's really interesting to look at where you're getting traffic, and I think it's far too easy, and we do this on our own website, to sort of forget about content that still is out there and ranking and getting referrals, and you invest a lot of all of your energy goes into the new stuff, but sometimes going back and doing some house cleaning and identifying places where you're getting traffic and maybe not putting your best foot forward makes a lot of sense. I think the other part of it of being proactive and saying, well, we're worried that down the road there could be an algorithm update, so we're going to go and delete this content. I'm not sure that I would recommend that to people because it's a lot of effort for something you're not really sure is going to actually happen. But in this day and age with SEO, a lot of people are worried about what the next big update is. So if you're looking for peace of mind, I can kind of see where they're coming from. What do you think, Adam?
Well, let's talk about the outcomes. So, and again, this piece over at Koozai I think is very interesting because they actually had data, and we really appreciate Mike for sharing this so publicly, which is why we wanted to highlight it today. So what they saw after they deleted these 900 blog posts was initially a little bit of a sag in some of their traffic. It wasn't huge. I think it was 10%-ish, and they also pointed out there's some seasonality that may have caused it anyway, so they weren't sure of cause and effect. That went for about 2 months, and then on about the third month after deleting the content, they did see that overall organic traffic was now up a little bit, maybe about 10% from where they started. So a lot of confounds, of course, in that kind of data, seasonality, trying to establish cause and effect. And I think this is where the debate begins. And I think, Mike, again, we think this is a great blog post. We want to take a little bit of a contrarian point of view in the hopes that you'll respond and we can get some discussion about this. If it is the fact that actually deleting the content caused the 10% rise, that might be interesting. But I guess I could easily argue that the time they spent doing this whole analysis could have easily gone into new, excellent content for content marketing, good promotion, and probably maybe exceeded the 10% increase with an emphasis on newer trending topics. So I was interested, Chad, on A, do you think that those results justified the project, and B, would you have spent that time that way, or is there another way you would recommend people go at this?
Well, I'm not really sure Mike had exactly the amount of time they spent and put a dollar value on it, Adam, but I do sort of tend to agree with you that that probably the investment in new, better content would and I think they said they've been doing that already, writing better content starting in 2011, but continuing that approach would have made a lot of sense. I definitely think that the the results are very difficult for you to say for sure whether the 900 blog posts that they deleted, whether it really that's statistically significant, those traffic patterns, without going back and looking at a lot of other factors. So I'm not sure. I think if anything, you can kind of say it didn't hurt us too bad,
Right.
but I'm not really sure that it's enough to say. And then what value can you definitively say you're getting from that effort in terms of future-proofing yourself against some sort of thin content issue that you might run into down the road with an algorithm? It's hard to say, Adam.
Yeah, I agree. And the other point I want to offer, again, you want to be the contrarian here. We hope Mike will chime in with some of his counterpoints. But I tend to believe Google's really good at discounting the things that it doesn't want to show to users. So in some ways, I think the time spent on deleting 900 blog posts, Google's sort of already doing that for you. And unless you're facing something very draconian like duplicate content or something super ugly that you did, which is not the case here. We're talking about within the realm of super good content to just maybe average content. I'm not sure you need to do this. I think, but I do think the idea of studying the patterns of where the traffic's coming from, where you're earning links, is smart. So I like that activity that Mike outlined, but I think I would do that in the context of better, stronger content marketing moving forward, and really put your emphasis on promoting that, getting it out to social media, sharing it with your your network, and getting people to comment on your blog and then get some spread on it. You'd probably see more than that 10% increase. So I tend to agree. I'm not sold that you need to do this and go delete 900 blog posts. I think Google, again, for a healthy site where nothing tricky has been done, is probably doing this for you in a non-punitive way. And really the path forward is probably to focus on excellent content and getting promotion. But we really appreciate Koozai for sharing this. It was a great discussion for Chad and I, something new to think about. The data is always helpful. And Mike, we hope to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going.